Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. What I'm going to say is my opinion. What I'm going to say is what I feel as Indian. I mean no disrespect to the honorable courts of India, neither the judicial system. But the fact remains that I think it is my duty, my responsibility to talk about my Indian judicial system, which is what I'm going to do in the next 15 minutes. After a shoe was hurled on the Chief Justice of India, there was another incident of somebody else hurling shoe on a judge. Where are we heading with this? Is it fair to hurl shoes, to throw shoes and to harm a judge? Is it fair to disrespect judge? Of course not. But is it fair for the judge to disrespect the court, the proceedings? Let's talk about our deteriorating Indian judicial system. Let's get right to the show. Now, I'm going to have a lot of videos played in this particular editorial of mine. Interesting videos. I'm sure a lot of you may like it. I want to start with this one. Just have a look.
Good evening, Chairman, sir. This is the way your advocate will argue the case.
Your Lordship telling me
Yes.
I can argue in my own way, not in your way in which you say.
We can't say that the court is doing injustice.
Please mind that. Did I say?
You have
Did I
said
say?
it. These are the video recording is there.
Yes.
Video
Please
recording
see.
is there.
Please see.
Ah.
I only prayed.
Video recording is
I
there.
only prayed before your Lordship.
Is only not let it be not. The court is there.
Don't try to humiliate any advocate.
It's
I'm
not a
telling you.
question of humiliation. It's a question of humiliation to a judge.
Sir, please don't try to humiliate any person. The country is burning. The country is burning with the judiciary. These are my words.
Just wait.
Yes.
Let us
Don't try to humiliate any advocate. आप बहुत ज्यादा जानते हैं, आप जज हो गए. हम लोग नहीं जानते, हम लोग वकील हैं.
But you have to argue in a proper
I
way.
will argue in my own way. Don't cross the limit. Please don't cross the limit.
हम लोग भी सर
I have already practiced for the last 40 years.
Request to the Chief Justice to change minds. No, not at all. This way cannot go. You were present here.
I was present.
Everybody is present here.
Then we will see.
Everybody was present
will
here.
see what
It
is
has
to
been said.
Lords.
Great injustice is being done.
We will see what is to be done.
Advocate here, I'm sure is a senior advocate. That advocate here scolded the judge. The judge was speechless. Why is it happening? Why are advocates who otherwise would go by saying, Your Honor, my God, my Lord, my everything, why are they now behaving the way they are? The reason is this is a pushback. This is a pushback from the system. Judges have almost behaved like gods all this while. They took that word, my Lord, very seriously. They actually started considering themselves as the lords. And that is what caused this. See another clip.
और 2019 से सर केस चल रहा है, ना बेल पे सुनवाई हुई है और ना ही सीआरए क्या बोलते हैं, हमें बोलने पे नहीं आ रहा सर, हमें बहुत डर लग रहा है आप लोगों के सामने.
डरने की बात नहीं है, आप बिल्कुल आराम से बोलिए.
जी, तो
180
फाइनल हियरिंग पे है सर.
तो फाइनल हियरिंग जब लेंगे तब फिर
सर
उसको अपन ले सकते हैं.
सर मैं अपनी बात पूरी कर लूं प्लीज. बहुत हिम्मत जुटा के मैं आपके सामने आई हूँ.
बोलिए.
और सर आप हमको एक डेट दे दीजिए. और मैं दौड़ते दौड़ते सर मैं एकदम थक गई हूँ. मेरे पास कोई नहीं है, मैं अकेली हूँ. मेरे हस्बैंड अंदर है और
आपके वकील साहब नहीं है.
वो दिल्ली है सर. उनको बुलाने के लिए हमको डेट तो फिक्स होना चाहिए. बुलाऊंगी तो मेरे पास कुछ बचा नहीं है सर. और 2000 सर, एक मिनट सर, 2023 में सर मेरा एक लौता बच्चा था, कोर्ट में दौड़ते दौड़ते 23 साल का था, यहीं पे आके एक्सपायर हो गया सर। मेरे आगे पीछे कोई नहीं है। रिक्वेस्ट है आप सब लोग यहाँ पे सबके पास बच्चे होंगे, मेरा एक लौता संतान।
लोकल काउंसिल एंगेज कर लीजिए, जो रिक्वेस्ट करे, जिस दिन फाइनल हियरिंग टेकअप होती है ना
जी,
उस दिन रिक्वेस्ट करे तो आपका केस ले लेंगे आउट ऑफ टर्म। और अभी मोशन हियरिंग छोड़ के फाइनल हियरिंग नहीं ले सकते।
तो सर हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आदेश भी लेके आए इसीलिए सर कि हमको सुन लिया जाए।
तो सुनने को तैयार है, प्रोवाइडेड
जी, तो आप हमको सर एक डेट दीजिए।
वकील नहीं डेट देंगे, वकील साहब नहीं आएंगे तो क्या फायदा।
नहीं तो सर हम उनको बुलाएंगे।
लोकल काउंसिल आप रखिए, यहाँ के जबलपुर के लर्नेड काउंसिल को एंगेज करिए, वो बहस करेंगे। आज नहीं हुआ कल हो जाएगा, कल नहीं हुआ परसों पर हो जाएगा।
You see, this is how was standing in front of a judge. You see, let us be very clear. The judge is paid a salary, and that salary comes out from our tax money, which means we pay the judge salary. Very clear. He or she is another government worker who works for the society, for us, for which we pay. So it's a very give and take relationship. There is no interference of God, or there's no godly presence there. He is a judge who qualifies himself, who works in the judicial system, elevates himself to wherever he is, and then he becomes a judge. A very simple professional position that he gets. This one is constitutional. But then, constitutional position, but he is still a judge who works for the people of this country. To stand and fold her hands and say, please help me. And not once did that judge say that, listen, madam, I am nobody to kind of, for you to plead like this. I am nobody. I don't deserve this kind of pleading. You don't need to fold hands in front of me. Not once did that judge say that, which means possibly the judge too may have believed. I don't know, but may have believed that it's okay. She's folding hands. So what? I'm a judge, no? And then when things like that happen, then what you saw earlier also happens. What you saw earlier also happens. So the first point I would like to make is there is a huge pushback that's happening in Indian judiciary. And this is going to continue. This is only going to increase. It is not going to decrease. Point 2, there is a huge credibility issue in the Indian judiciary. You see, there are certain judges who are known for their communal statement. They have made hate speeches and they are judges today. I have asked many judges who have come in my programs, and whenever I got a chance to interact with them or interview them, I have asked many judges, no judge could answer. These judges are put, and the argument given in front of the people are that, Lucy, when she made or he made that statement, he or she was not part of the judicial system. She or she is part of the judicial system now, so there is nothing wrong. A person who believes that another community are full of terrorists and thieves, are you okay with that person sitting in a judge's chair and actually judging, and possibly maybe the person of that community which he or she hates? Is that okay? And how is that okay? You saw another case of a judge, the cash that you see in the visual, crores of rupees burning in his room. Crores of rupees. This is the judge. Where do you think he got the money from? How does a judge get this kind of money? Now, it is argued that it is not his and it is somebody else's and all that. Okay, whatever it is. But look at the imagery it has created. There are certain judges, I don't want to take names, but there are certain judges who retired now, and that lady retired now, and everybody knows the kind of judgment that judge normally would give. That judge was part of an ideology, not of Indian legal system. That judge was completely seen as a part of an ideology. We had another judge who judged his own sexual harassment case. He was the Chief Justice of India, Gogoi. He sat in his own sexual harassment case and judged himself. And he said, okay, I'm clean. This happened in a country like India, the world's largest democracy. How do you think our judicial system will have credibility? Let me take you to the third point, denial. I've spoken to a lot of lawyers. In fact, some of them have even come on my channel. The point is, even the youngsters within the system, when it comes to protecting the system, they are absolutely very protective about the system because they have to guard each other. They have to guard each other's back in order for them to grow, make money. In the process, they are in absolute denial. Now, if you are in denial and if you think that everything is okay, all changasi, then where are you going to get the change? Where is the change going to come from? Even today, if you ask a person, however open, however bold, however, candid the person may be with you in an interview, if you ask a person from the judiciary system and ask him or her, whether the Indian judiciary system is deteriorating and things are not going the way it should, they will say, some of them will say, to some extent, but then, it used to happen before also. Now also it is happening, then also it is that. So the fact is, nobody is willing to accept the fact, nobody is willing to bell the cat saying that Indian judicial system is deteriorating. I am an Indian. I was born in India and I hope to die in India. And from last 55 years that I have spent my life in India, let me assure you that I have seen this system deteriorating. To my mind, the system is deteriorating. This is not what law was. There were a lot of issues, by the way. So don't even bother to write down in your comment box that in Congress era that happened, this era. All that I know. Lot of issues happened then. But now it is getting more and more blatant. And tell me, as a society, are we supposed to correct our wrongs or are we supposed to do more wrongs because our predecessors did wrongs? So we will do more. Is that how it works? Is that how it works? So we are in absolute denial. The fifth point and the most important point, look at this judge. Hear him out.
एक अलग ऑर्डर ले, नाम बताओ इसका। इसका नाम बताओ। मैंने पहले भी भेजा था एक को जेल में, 1 महीने के लिए भेजा था मैंने। नाम बताओ इसका। लिख रहे? अरे नहीं, वो चौकी इंचार्ज पूछ लेगा। मेरा बैठा ले रहे, कस्टडी में नहीं है। कस्टडी में नहीं है। जाना चाहिए। जो उस दिन ऑर्डर लिखा था, जो भेजी थी वो सुदातुल्लानी जो भी है, वो एकदम ऑर्डर लिख दो उसमें। सेम ऑर्डर लिख दो, सेम वही ऑर्डर भी वही और वो
He was sacked. He was sacked and thank God for it. He's a judge. How do you select a judge? How does a person become eligible to be a judge? If that eligibility criteria gives us these kind of judges, then don't you think it's high time to review that eligibility criteria? To review that induction system? Isn't there a problem in the way we are inducting judges? Why do we even have these kind of people sitting there in that chair? People who are not even fit to sit in a basic public gathering. These kind of people sit, judge and judge your life. They judge your fate. They judge your future. You see, every time when we sit here and we talk about Indian judicial system is deteriorating, Indian constitutional bodies are deteriorating, be careful, we need to save them. When we say this, a lot of us are mocked. A lot of us are told that, we belong to some particular ideology, party, we are supporting one party. What happens when that party was there? Did you speak then? Why are you speaking now? See, all this, you can argue till the cows come home, but one day, one day you will realize that the only body that could monitor, that could ensure, that could bind this concept of democracy, you will lose it. And that is your judicial system. It will deteriorate to an extent if we are in denial. That is, if we are in denial and we continue to be in denial, this judicial system will deteriorate to an extent where we will not be able to correct it. We will not be able to correct it. Our constitutional bodies, our investigating agencies, our enforcement agencies, these agencies will deteriorate to an extent where you will not be able to correct it. This is the time to stand up and say, listen, something has to be done. It is no longer about your favorite party or mine. It is no longer about that. It is about our country, our society. Our constitution has to be protected. Our constitution comes first. And the only way you can ensure that the constitution is implemented are through constitutional bodies. So if you do not protect the constitutional body, you do not protect the constitution. And the most important tool that we have to ensure, to enforce that the constitution and the constitutional bodies are protected is judicial system. If judicial system goes down, so does our entire process of democracy. Take this as a warning sign. And all these videos that I showed you were not meant for entertainment. It was meant to show you that this is what's happening around you. This is what's happening in your courts. You need to be aware and mindful of this. I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Namaskar.